Hello everyone! Welcome to the Crafty Maven Getaway. So I am starting my layout here by cutting down a sheet of hot press watercolor paper. Hot press watercolor paper is a lovely, smooth, thick, amazing paper that I adore. And it's lovely. I got mine at an art store, not at a scrapbook store. And it's really, really nice. So we're going to do some stamping, and we're going to stamp with a whole bunch of Ulta New stamps today. So you saw my sketch I chose at the beginning, and that is this month's sketch challenge from Ulta New. And I am a huge fan. Discovering that company and using their stamps has seriously, made me love stamping. Well, that and my Tim Holtz stamp platform, of course. So I'm going to start with the Bamboo Roses stamp set and permanent black Ulta New ink, and I'm going to create a stamped swash of flowers from the bottom right to the top left. I'm also going to be using this little bumblebee, which is from, I believe the name of the stamp is Wild About You. Yep. And I'm going to stamp him at a couple different places and then clean him off and move on. Some of my stamps I'm going to make solid, and some of them I'm going to color in later, which is where the decision to create using the hot press watercolor paper comes in. This stamp set is called Wildflower Garden, and I'm going to just grab a couple stamps from that, and I'm going to stamp them. These are solid images, so I'm going to stamp them using some Ulta New inks that I really like. I think the green is going to be Forest Glade, and then a little bit later on I'm going to use a really bright pink, which is my favorite. Oh my gosh, this color is amazing. It's called Coral Berry, and the bumblebee was stamped using Warm Sunshine. So I'm just going to go through my stamps and pick out the colors I want to use, and I love these little mini ink stamps from Ulta New as well. I am a big Ulta New girl. So when I saw their sketch challenge for this month, I knew I wanted to create with it. I knew I had so many of their products that I could get out and have a fun with. And so, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and create this little swash of flowers. This is that Coral Berry I was telling you about. The sketch just calls for one picture. So I just chose a picture of two of my nieces when they were looking especially adorable in April when they were together. So at this point, I'm going to stamp this Coral Berry, but then I'm going to decide that maybe I should take a break. Take a minute and decide where my photo is going to be, because I don't want to go through all the trouble of stamping this entire sheet or this entire background and then cover up a ton of it with my photo. So at this point I stop because I know I've reached the part where I want to get my photo, and I'm just going to mark with a pencil where my photo is, because I'm going to map my photos so I know that all these pencil marks will be covered up and it's not a big deal. And so now I have a good idea of where my photo will be, and I can place my stamps a little bit more intentionally so that I don't stamp and then be covering a bunch of it up. My reason for doing this is because this is not a slow process. Picking the colors, deciding on the stamps, making sure that this entire area is filled in. I think I had about an hour's worth of video just doing the background. So this is the labor-intensive kind of part of this layout. But once this is done, I think it was like 10 minutes and my layout was finished. But I really love my stamps. I really love stamping on scrapbooking layouts. I think it's just, I love it. I love it so much. I have really, really been getting into it and really loving it. And I really believe that the major reason for that is because of my stamp platform, because it makes it so easy to get fabulous results. So I have my entire sheet of hot pressed watercolor paper. It is all stamped, and now I want to watercolor. So I grabbed all of the Ultimu mini ink colors that I wanted to use, and I got a light and a dark from each color I want to use, and that's just what I'm just going to use, a light ink and a dark ink. So I have a light green and a dark green, I have a light green I have a light teal and a dark teal yellow, and then pink. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet these leaves with the lighter color. So I'm getting a nice area of water. And this is why I used watercolor paper, because you get a nice water and you just drop that dark color in and it goes whoosh. I love, love, love this. I love how these flowers turned out. From the mood board, I took inspiration from all of the different elements that were black and white, and then I also loved that really light cotton candy pink. So I'm using elements from and colors from the mood board to color my flowers in, and that's how I incorporated the mood board into this. But you can see how fabulous this is, and you need watercolor paper to do this. And the hot press watercolor paper is a smooth watercolor paper. So then when you ink initially, it is, you know, when you stamp, you don't have a texture to worry about, which is really awesome. The other amazing thing is that there is no warping. There is no warping at all. You can see all the water I'm using. No warping. The brand name of the hot press watercolor paper that I use is called Fluid. It's not like the best watercolor paper on the market, but that's okay because it works fabulously for my purposes. So these are just pinks, and again, I have two pink colors. They're both very light, but I wanted that really light pink that you see in the mood board. All of these little extra flowers that I stamped in to fill in some of the gaps are going to be teal, and then we're going to work on our butterflies. And I am using the same technique for all of these flowers and all of the watercoloring. So I'm just the lighter color, and I'm wetting the entire surface fairly well. I'm putting a decent amount of water on there, but I'm making sure to stay right within the edges of my stamp. And then when I drop that darker color in, the darker color will just follow where the water is. So then you get some natural shading and just that amazing watercolor look without the watercolor spreading outside of the stamped image. And I think that I believe that's because of the paper, honestly. So now I'm just going to clean up, and I'm going to go ahead and do my butterflies in yellow. And I think the butterflies turned out like so nice, so nice. So these are two of my very favorite shades. This is Buttercream, the lighter color. Ooh! Hold on a second. Sorry about that. Our Cooper does not like it when other people walk on our property. He also kills rats and mice outside. If I have a dog that's a mouser. So I have my yellow butterflies done now. They turned out so nicely. And now I'm taking this big, huge, amazing washi. This is also from Ultimu. And it's fabulous. I had it on my desk, and my husband actually came over and was like, "Are we putting wallpaper border somewhere in our house?" Because that's what he thought it was. I love that story. So it's a giant washi, and I have two different rolls of it, and I want all of the rest of them. I find it to be like way easier to grab and use than like a regular thinner washi. So what I'm doing here is I just covered an entire sheet of paper. I'm going to grab some fun foam, and I'm going to pop my photo up onto the fun foam, and then put the photo on top of this washi that I just put on white paper and cut apart as a photo map. And then I'm just going to add a title. So the bulk of the work on this layout is all of that beautiful stamping, and I did not want to cover it up. And I felt like if I covered it up a lot, what would end up happening was that it would you know, if I added more embellishments or did anything like that, I felt like it would make the layout quite busy. So I did decide to add some black splatters, and I really, really like how the black splatters turned out. It was actually one of my better splattering days. And it just added that little bit of interest and just that little bit of something to the layout. And since the washi is a polka dot washi, it really did. It turned out nice. So I'm going to take these thickers. These are Fitzgerald thickers. They're my favorite thickers. They're my favorite thicker font in the history of ever. And I have so few left. It's so sad. They need to come back with them. And I'm going to do my title, which is going to be Sweet Girls. And again, I'm covering just the smallest bit of this stamping up, but you can still see it behind the letters. And there was this nice, like, open space that you can see there down below the flowers I'm currently covering up. And it made a really nice area to create just a simple, easy title. I kept the rest of this layout very easy because I really, really wanted the details of the stamping and the watercolor to be on show and to, you know, besides the picture, to be kind of like the main thing that you look at. So I'm just going to lay down these stickers, and then my last little bit for this layout is going to be just putting a date stamp at the bottom. This is a layout that didn't require a story or journaling. It's really just how stinking cute are my nieces. And that's about it. And I wanted to play with stamps. So yeah, I'm just going to fix these letters. I really wanted them to be nice and straight. When you do a layout like this that doesn't have a lot of embellishments, I feel that things like crooked letters and things like that become more noticeable, even if they're ever so slightly crooked. So I tend to really, really fiddle with it. And I can even tell you now that the art is a little off, but when I took the photos of it, I was fixing that too. So now I've disappeared because I'm off checking the date of the layout. And very quickly, I'm just going to go ahead and do my date stamp, and that will complete this. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Crafty Maven. Here are some fabulous close-ups of all of the stamping, and I hope that you'll try some stamping on your next layout. And if you are a stamper and if you love to watercolor, hot press watercolor paper by Fluid. All right, we'll see you all again soon. Bye.